It's bombs and it's another year. We're here, we're broadcasting live in high definition at the Xfinity Studios, only from Comcast. We're here, gentlemen. We're here in sunny Saratoga Springs, New York. Beautiful week. Summer meet just began, and it's another year. We're how many hours away? We're 48 hours away. We're ready to get this fucking rolling. We're ready to get it rolling. Just a heads up, all your racing coverage, go to Ghost on Broad Street, Twitter. Tweet him, tweet Conti, do whatever you have to do. Tweet him. Make sure your girls go on secrets.com. Make sure they're on the Tiki stage, whatever, the camera, the bait camera. Get it all in. This year is the first year the race will be taking place at Royal ASScot. So I'm going to run through the list of the contenders that we have this year. It should be a tremendous value betting race this year, if you are to get it right. And even though it's going to be a great weekend, I mean, we do have somebody who invited himself on a trip, but we'll get to that later on. Make a long story short, while we have him here, I want to introduce our guest analyst this year. He ran in this race 8 times. He placed 2 times. He came in third 3 times. And I just want to get it out there. He's the best organizer of a bar crawl in this country.
And an Ocean City, Maryland trip.
And Ocean City, Maryland. Matt, how you doing?
What's going on, guys?
How do you feel about your first trip here in Saratoga?
I'm enjoying it. So, it's nice retiring. I don't come home with soreness. So, I'm not sick anymore.
You're a friend of ponies, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I missed the race. I'm going to miss it.
Okay. We also have John Donnelly, no newcomer by any means to this race. He's won this race multiple times. John, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, so we're going to get started. We're going to run through the list. Let's begin with Brady's Bodyguard, 65-1 for Gary Sauce. Guys, what do you think?
He's going to be up the leader's ass. He's a big follower. He likes a lot of the top guys. So he's going to be up the leader's ass no matter what. But I think he's going to fade down the stretch. I wouldn't like him in any superfecta, nowhere near.
I keep my eye out for Gary to break his maiden in this race. He's got the personality to interact. It's good for the crew, the table, and you never know, crazy things happen in Ocean City.
I'm not saying we're already disagreeing.
Here's a horse that has been on this trip now for years. He's battle tested in the sense that he hasn't really taken that next step to make me believe that he's ready to win a race like this with some of these young guns. His odds look to be correct at 65-1. However, I mean,
the value's there.
There's value, and I'm going to tell you why, because training camp just started. Say he meets a young filly with a Tom Brady or a Patriot jersey, he may be in like Flint.
Look, he's going to be there, like I said. He's going to be off the leader's ass. So he could, he could get some of the, extra.
I'm looking at his numbers, his past performance. He ran in a bocce stakes. He ran a modest 90, not pedestrian by any means. I just don't know if he's going to take a liking to this track. We'll see what happens. Maybe it's the board. Maybe he doesn't. The next horse we have here is El Presidente, Johnny Longo. What say you?
He's an Ocean City, Maryland veteran. 20-1. I'm not sure where the money's going in this race, but 20-1 is not bad odds for Johnny Longo.
I like him at those odds. 20-1. Throw him in all your superfectas, trifectas, and I didn't put him in exactly.
Now there's quite a few 28 streeters on this trip. Primarily, it's a 28 street trip.
Yeah.
Okay. So out of the 9 or 10 going, he's the one I want. He's a socialite in Ocean City. There's no question about it. He knows everyone. He's been facing tougher competition in West Virginia. He went to West Virginia. He's running against grade 1 competition week in, week out. So he's dropping in class this week. So at 20-1, you got to look for him to hit the board. I say he's going to at least touch a trifecta.
Yeah, I'm waiting on that.
I might even go as far as say he wins the whole thing.
I mean, he can. He's lightly raced. He's probably one of the younger entries in his field.
The youngest.
He very may well be the youngest. And I think you got to throw them in your pick fours, superfectas, rainbow fives, whatever. Throw them in, wheel them, do whatever you need to do. Here's a horse that is going to draw some interest. Dusted, Steven Spadassini, 5-1. What do you guys think?
You think this
Yeah,
one?
I mean, if he can take a weekend away from the boat, and I don't know. I don't know if the focus is still there. I've seen some fall from grace from Steven Spadassini recently. Doesn't have time for anybody. With the boat, and I don't know if he's got what it takes anymore.
I mean, I spoke to Bob Baffert yesterday on the backstretch. He told me he invited this Cuzzy guy on this trip, so I don't know where his mind's going to be.
It's going to hurt him.
It's got to hurt him. I'm
He's
thinking.
babysitting.
He could be. It's this kid's first trip here. Spats is a veteran. He may be just showing this kid around. I don't know why he was invited, but I mean,
It doesn't help him. I'll put it that way.
it's not going to help him. But I just don't know where his head's going to be. I mean, he's always one of the favorites in this race. He never really disappoints. But will Cuzzy be in impending danger to Dustin this week? That's the question you're going to have to ask yourself when you go to the window.
To be honest with you, I don't know what the odds makers were thinking. Him and Johnny Longo's odds should be switched, in my opinion.
I think it's
At
fair
5-1,
I think it's fair.
at 5-1, you can throw him in superfecta, but it's not worth it to me.
Okay, so we'll go on to the next horse. It's Robbie Zioli's horse, Voted for Trump, 85-1. What do you guys think?
Just had a kid, anniversary weekend. He might end up scratched for this race. Just from
I like him. I think he's a strong horse.
Oh, I'm not denying he's a
He,
strong horse.
powerful
but
horse.
it's just,
You know, he can hang in there with the best. My one problem is, he leans a little too far left and he gets ran into the rail. He's going to get bolted, He goes too far left and he was a little misguided. He's a good horse. He's a good, strong horse. Makes
But when he feels that crack of the whip, he goes left.
He goes left. He goes a little too left.
Speaking of guys who goes left, Charlie Emmert's, he's also eligible to run this race. Liberal Tree Hugger, that's Charlie Emmert's. 9-2 if he runs in a race.
fighting that cracked hoof, so we're going to see.
He won't be running in this race, what I'm hearing.
I don't know what happened. What happened then?
He has
Well-
the cracked hoof.
Well, let me explain what happened.
Buick thing.
Let me explain what happened here. He was training very well, as he always does. I believe he's single now. Training excellent. Always loves Ocean City. Here's the issue. He was in Wildwood last weekend, and he hung out with what's his name, Klondike Bar, kid with the Sharpie sideburns, and he pissed away all his money on his beers. So it looks like he's out of pocket right now. So I don't think he's going to be running this race. Is what I'm hearing.
It's a shame.
It is.
It's a shame only to see a guy go down like that.
It's very.
I hope he bounces back next year.
It's very, and now if you guys can take a look, this was Charlie last year, and you see he ran away from the field and won by about 9 lengths. But this is what happens when you hang out with Montana, dude. Like, this is whatever.
I don't like to say it, but he had a great year and now he fell off.
Maybe
The steroid question starts
Yeah, there was
coming
maybe
into
next
play.
year. Maybe he
It could be
waits.
that over 30, running back to.
Yeah.
Maybe he waits for the Breeders' Cup. The 25 and older race. Maybe he gets in that. We won't talk about it now. Here's a horse, Rosie's Thorn. Russell, Van Der. What do you guys think?
One of my favorites. He always puts on a show in the Bay. Can't overlook him.
He was a past favorite.
I know he's recently engaged, but it's just one of those guys you can't ever overlook.
No. Where's his odds at?
He's 70
Well,
to 1.
him,
70. That's
Russell. There's a coupled entry here. The owners of the Van Ders, they put 3 horses in. You got Rosie's Thorn, Scott Norwood, and Bill's Mafia.
I like boxing all 3 in the trifecta.
I don't. I think that's bad money here.
You know what? For the odds, I would throw a couple dollars. Box all 3.
I would light them on fire, to be honest. I mean, listen, I love the Bills. I love betting the Bills. They cover almost every week. They always circle a wagon. But just like the Bills, you can't back these guys. They don't win. So I'm not going to be backing some guys who don't actually win. So I think they may have a shot early on. I don't think they're going to be in it for the long haul. I think that's bad money. You need closing kick in this kind of race, and I don't know if they have it. We're going to move on, and this probably is going to get the most attention. It's Hacksaw, Dom Cassis.
Well,
40 to 1 probably should be 140 to 1.
I mean, if I could take this, to start off with,
Please do.
The guy, his previous owners whipped him a lot. He was, brutally whipped. It's a tough story. I feel bad. As a fellow man myself, he wasn't treated right at first. He's a late bloomer now.
He's turned the corner.
He did turn the corner. He did turn the corner. I'm rooting for him. He's one of those good, happy stories. You want to see a guy, come
Like
back.
a little bit of Rocky Balboa in a sense.
It does. It does.
I see where you're going with this, but I don't see it happening this week. I'm going to tell you why. This kind of horse comes around every single year. So much potential, has all the tools, but he just doesn't get it done. You know the potential, you know what he can do. He just can't put it together. But I think at the end of the day, I don't think he wants to win, and he's been on a record saying he does not want to win. So I don't think he wants a distance
I
here.
that notion. I think the perfect storm.
I don't think so. I mean, this has
Listen,
been
if there's
documented.
a condom available, he can win the race. I'm telling
Well,
you.
that's the problem. The condoms hadn't been around since high school.
Yeah, this is
15 years.
This is a long time ago. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if he
Was
wants a
it?
distance here. I mean, who knows? Maybe he runs in the King's Bishop here, going half a mile shorter. I don't think he wants his distance here. I don't think he wants
I'm
it
with
at all.
Bombs on this one. He's not a strong finisher. Blows his load all over real early. He doesn't know how to stick it in and really finish. It's almost like he's scared to do it. So,
I'll tell you what, I'll be tying him in up top.
Well, you can tie him in, but you can tie your money and light it on fire as well, because, I mean, this is a horse that's going to really go there to project his, what he's doing on, like, social media, the Snapchat, Instagram.
I want no parts of it.
That could be a good way to
And by
connect.
multiple, I mean, this isn't, no. And by multiple, I mean, like, 1,000 uploads. Like, this is a different kind of race.
I want nothing to do with him.
I mean, his trainer, Dario Saric, he's been working with.
That's a great owner.
He's
A lot of money.
He's been training the horse very well. He's putting blinkers on the horse for the first time. Maybe that gets him less distracted this
But,
week. and keeps
foreign
him playing.
owner. What's that done for the Jags? Foreign owners. Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So, listen, I hope nothing for best for Dom. I hope he does well. I hope he has his phone away. I don't like his chances this week.
Yeah,
I hope
45
he
to
runs
1.
well.
45 to 1. I'm gonna show what I do with this.
Those odds
So,
are
yeah.
telling me no go. Let's see who else we have. We have Miller Made Me, and that would be my horse. And I'm obviously working for NBC here, so I can't comment on my own horse. So, what say
Seems
you?
like a fitting name. After all, we all know that Miller did in fact bring you to the field and made you the man that you are today.
He did.
So, if we're going to go by that, does Miller have what it takes to win? Is that the guy you want guiding you? In my book, he's a boss.
No. 7-2. And you got some good odds there.
I've seen what this horse could do in the past, and I'm probably going to, Time
You
it up
have
there.
the resume.
Well,
he's a two-time winner.
How many years is this for?
You remember
this
the
is
20?
this is my 8th trip.
It's your 8th trip.
Now, do you remember the triple dead heat in 2013? One of the greatest races of all time, and who was there?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
You're
you
right.
got to keep all these things in mind.
You're right.
Well, we'll move away from me. I don't like to, we have other entries here that we should get to. Senior Stumpo, Nicky Longo, 8 to 1.
Yeah.
What do you got?
He was an old running mate of mine. 7 years we ran together. Three races we ran next to each other. He pushed me a little bit, and
Really?
got me to my top finishes.
Okay.
I don't think he has it. He's, father time wins everything. I'm rooting for him now. I want him to win.
John, what do you think?
He's a feel-good story. He's
New father.
one of the veterans. He's a new
Congrats,
father.
Nick.
You're
You're my best friend.
I think eventually we're. He's
Congrats
more.
to Robbie, too.
He's more just.
Rob, solid
Congrats.
congrats.
I think Nicky's more just hanging around to groom Christian into the next generation of Longo that'll be taking over Ocean City. you know.
kind of mentor.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
kind of just doesn't want to. He's not going to hang it up yet. There's no reason to hang it up, but
No.
you know.
And I just want to say, I would love to take your son to gyms whenever. Take him, with us to the racetrack, to games, whatnot.
I know there were whispers of this might be possibly his last race.
This could be, and
is this a Ray Lewis moment for him? He's
I spoke with
Could be,
with
man,
the source,
he's gonna go out.
and I promised anonymity. But this isn't going to be Nicky's last race. He'll be around for years to come.
listen, he's one of my favorite owners. Clearly my best friend in his field, not even close. I just don't know what his chances are here. I don't know. He's got a lot going on. Like Miller said, he's got a lot going on.
I'm gonna put $1 on him at 90 to 1.
It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Just for the feel good.
Yeah.
But Nick, if you're listening, bud, just make sure you collect $100 before we get in the bay. I don't want some of these kids coming in. You got to pay to enter in a race like this. You can't just walk into a claim. This ain't no claiming race, Nick. So make sure you collect that 100 up front. We'll have a good time. But I think this is a young guy's race. I think some of the younger guns are going to take this one down. But like you said, Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl, and he's 70 years old. So Nicky, he definitely has a shot. Bocce snow removal, Paulie Van Der Zee, he's 70 to 1.
I love him at 71.
That's
He should be nowhere near 71. He should be at 20 to 1, 15 to 1. Get your money in now on him before the odds drop. Nothing more I could say on him. He's probably the best odds in this race.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy odds in this race. I'm not sure where the money's going. I'm sure those numbers will adjust race day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will come down, but we do have some heavy favorites that are going to take action, so you're going to get value elsewhere,
Right.
which is why it's a great value race. Let's look at SEPTA Rider, Andrew Longo, 10 to 1. One of my favorites, by the way.
He should be your quarterback, right?
I'm still his quarterback. I'll always be his quarterback.
I think 10 to 1. It's a great price on a young stud coming up on hit. He's been around this like 5 or 6 years now.
He has, and I think he's got.
At
think
10
a lot
to
of
1,
people are
I like him
I think a
a
lot of
lot.
people are sleeping on it.
With Nicky guiding him, and we didn't speak about the Bachelor yet, who I'm not expecting big as the Bachelor, but Andrew, I think,
Don't
can
forget,
take the reins.
El Presidente's connections could help in this
Yeah.
race. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good bet. 10 to 1. I think Vegas got these odds right, and I think they're saying something about him.
I think Andrew Longo
So-
can win this race. I mean, I'm looking through his field. I think there's only about 4 legitimate contenders. I think Andrew has to.
So let me ask you this: would you feel more comfortable betting the 3 Longo brothers or the 3 Van Der Zee brothers?
That's a great
Fox
question.
and-
That's a great question. And to be honest, I'm going to go with the Van Der Zees just because they could start the party a little bit. They're a little crazier.
I would have to worry.
Andrew can bring that chance a lot closer than you may think, but I think the Van
If we're
Der
going
Zees.
just brothers,
And if you throw
Yeah.
Johnny in,
Yeah, if you throw
it's
Johnny
close.
line,
Yeah.
If you throw Johnny in, then we're talking about a match race here. We're talking about Secretariat and Seabiscuit. We're talking serious racing.
yeah, I mean, I actually
that's
don't think it'd
legit.
be much of a race in that
Yeah.
situation.
I think Andrew's got to be in your top 2. At least put him in the show. We have Longarcos, which is Mark Longo. He's 100 to 1, rightfully so. His mind isn't going to be in this race, but
No,
he's going to be running anyways.
Yeah, he's got the wedding coming up. He's
Can focus on too many other things.
I don't expect much from him.
Yeah, bad money there. You agree? Okay.
Yeah, maybe he falls in the 4th. I
And yeah,
would say that.
our final contestant is one of our own. Invite the Klondike, and by Klondike that would be Montana. He hasn't bought a beer since I don't know.
I mean, I had a groundbreaking moment this past weekend when we bought a shot.
Did he buy you a water? Like
No, it was a
on tap?
An
Like
actual
the one that
shot
was
of
free, or he paid?
blackberry brandy. Indeed.
Was it at dumpsters? Like did he buy you a fry? Did he grab
know the
fries from
bartender?
a dumpster?
He didn't know the bartender.
So he paid full
I
price.
think he's turning the corner, the kid. He's got
I
the
don't
new
know.
hairdo, he's got the losing a little weight. Maybe the kid turns the corner. I'm not ready
Well-
to hang out with him in Ocean City yet.
Maybe we see him on this list.
You know, we tried it.
Maybe.
We tried it before. If he didn't like the race, he couldn't run the race.
You know what? If Hacksaw can come out of what he came out of, the beatings and whippings he took, then I don't
The
see
issue
why.
is he's
I don't
never
see
took
why
a
I'm not
beating
backing.
before.
He's never been whipped.
The only beating that has been done in his life is in his bedroom late at night with a bottle of lube and some
Well, the
toothpaste.
question, would you have rather been whipped or never been whipped at all?
I would have rather been whipped. At least you're getting something.
It's a tough place.
Well, let's stop talking about somebody who never broke his maiden. The kid's 90, he's still a maiden. He's still got a long
The
ways to
question,
go.
he's the favorite, right? Is
John Donnelly is named the morning line favorite. He's 5-2. I think
is this for a repeat or?
Let's say what it is. He was here 2 weeks ago. He ran in a race. It's Secrets. The field he defeated very weak competition. Beat Chris Armada, Georgie Hatton, a couple other redheads and freckle kids that aren't coming to my mind right now. I mean, it is what it is, but sometimes you got to beat who's on your schedule, and he did. But in prior years, John always has held his own, so I have no doubts about him this year. What do you think?
I mean, he's a lock for top 3. He's going to make it up to Sunday night, which almost guarantees you at least 4th place. Yeah. Sunday night, I can go down the list already who's not going to make Sunday night. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right off the bat, 6 guys already. So you make it out to Sunday night, you're a lock. And
Well, that covers the field. Let's just go through one by one who you guys like. Give us what you'll be playing this week and how much are we wagering on.
I'm going to box a Van Derzies in the trifecta. Bocce snow remove I really like. I might do what is that? El Presidente and invite the Klondike Exacta. I mean, I can't go wrong with that. And I think that's it.
Yeah, El Presidente is my pick to win. 21, great odds. Like I said, the kid's done it before. He's the youngest of the crew. He's battle tested. He's conquered bigger fields than this. And spent summers in Ocean City, Maryland. So I'm going to take El Presidente. Johnny Longo, 20-1.
Can't go wrong. I'm not talking anybody off this. Anybody who wants to grab some value in this race, I'm not talking you off it. I say go for it. There's a lot of multiple entries who have a shot to win this race. I'm going to go with Seth the Rider. He always does well here at Ocean City. John does as well. I'm going to throw those two in up top. I'm also going to throw in Brady's Bodyguard. I think there's going to be a few Patriot fans in the Bay Saturday. I think he's going to connect well. I think he's a big overlay here. I think he's going to outrun his odds and maybe crack the top 3.
That's it.
Senior Stumpo, I'm rooting for you.
I'm rooting for you too. You're my best friend, Nick, as we know. I can't wait to see you, pal. Come on down, we'll have a drink. Just collect that 100. From everybody here, Matt Snyder, John Donnelly, it's been a pleasure.
Thank
We will
you.
see you gentlemen in under 48 hours. Thank you, boys. Signing off. Go to Broad Street.